This episode is brought to you by regret and bad choices.
Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. Objects, I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, really, this is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And two things I know for sure. One, I'm not Shirley. Are you Shirley?
Shirley, you jest.
Surely we are serious. Now, here's the good news. The good news is that she did not cancel on us. Not like some of these other fucksticks that we've had that don't show up at the last minute or whatever the case is. This was not on her. We had a life moment on our end. I'll leave it at that. It doesn't have to be expanded on, but I just wanted to make it very, very clear. We wanted to make it clear that it was not her. We've got to reschedule next week. Does not work because we've got to record early. Mike's going out of town next week for, again, a very positive thing.
Right.
But then the week afterwards, so the week of the Friday the 16th, well, Saturday the 17th, which would be when it was released. So that'll be probably one of those nights when I'll get very little sleep again because I'm leaving early in the morning to go to Arkansas. But you know what? I survived on 2.5 hours of sleep Easter weekend, so I think I'll get a little bit more this time because it's the same time zone, and I don't necessarily have to be back by 2 p.m. like I did last time. So it's all good.
Right. All right.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just us. But don't turn it off. We're gonna try extra hard tonight.
Are we?
No.
Good.
I actually asked Mike before we started. I'm like, do you really even want to do this? Because I mean, he's not into this at all. I just want everyone to know. So
not at all.
Right, that's why I said I would have been more than happy to do it tomorrow.
My feelings don't matter. No. 90% of this shit is showing up and doing what you're supposed to do. So here I am.
Right. So, but yeah, I literally asked him, like, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to. We can do it tomorrow. It wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, so here we are.
I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't have been a big deal in the grand scheme of things if you wouldn't have had plans tomorrow. But
right.
So anyhow, but okay. So do you? And again, I know the feelings, but would you like to? Do you want to step into? And here's the funny part. I literally, and I've said
Careful
this before.
How you phrase this.
here's the interesting coincidental part. Okay. I always print off these sheets, but when we have a guest, sometimes I'm like, whatever, just in case. And I did tonight. I almost wasn't going to. I'm like, what's the fucking point? Everything's set. We're all set with her. She's all guaranteed and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll print it off. Who knows? Maybe there's things on here that we could talk about with her. I don't know how the conversation is going to go. I think it's going to be, I don't know. I feel like we know her a little bit just because she knows us, I think, from being a listener. But yeah, however it goes. But I printed off my stuff. So I have some stuff.
All right. Well, good. I have a meditation book next to me.
Well, cool. Then I guess we'll start off with that.
All right then. This was actually from earlier in the week. I went, that one's not bad. So here we go. April 30th. It's from God Grant Me, in case anybody's taking notes, which I know you're not. Let's see here. I don't even remember what the hell it is. Here we go. Learning is a skill we develop that leads to lifelong adventure. Anonymous. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put my name on that either. Let's see here. Recovery asks that we commit ourselves to a life of learning. We do not turn our backs on the past. We learn from it. Past mistakes become guides and warnings to others and to us. As we use the steps, our sponsor, and the fellowship, we make sense of how we got so lost. We gain knowledge of how we were seduced by intensity, which we mistook for intimacy. We see how we followed our instincts instead of spiritual principles. We see how our illness needed us to believe that we were of little value. We see how our pain equaled entitlement to keep using. If we sit and listen, we learn much. While listening in our healing circles, we are learning how to do life, how to do the next right thing. We start to see how to be of service to others instead of being a burden. We use this new knowledge over and over in this adventure we call life. Prayer for the day. Higher power, help me to be open and committed to learning. Keep me from the arrogance that was part of my addiction. Today's action, those goddamn actions. Today, I will write down 5 things that I've learned during my sobriety that have helped me have a better life.
Did we ever read this one before? Because I think we've had questions like that before, where it's like, well, everything, right?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, can you? Well, I mean, any one of us could pick 5, but I mean, would you even want to sit down and try to pick 5? I mean, isn't everything?
Not tonight.
But I mean, even in general, I mean,
Right.
to try to isolate 5 things. I mean, it's kind of like the everything type of thing, So I mean, I can't think of. Well, let's look at it the other way. Name one thing that one way sobriety's made your life worse. That's the easier one.
That is easy. No.
Right. Yeah, it's like that goes back to the old saying of there's nothing that a drink would solve, or nothing that a drink would make better today, and all those sort of things. But yeah, that was again. That was April 30th, so that was just a couple of days ago. I don't remember any of that. Not a goddamn word, and I love Keep It Simple. I read it obviously every day, but
God grant me. So there you go.
That was you know what? I apologize for whatever reason. I thought you said Keep It Simple. So God, Jesus,
I don't know. We'll go back and listen to the tape. Who the hell knows what I said?
No, I'll bet you did. I just listened wrong. I mean, it's apparently it's been I didn't have like a bad day or anything like that. It's Friday night's long week and whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get up like super early to get out of here tomorrow, but I don't care. I mean, there's nothing that with tonight that like affected my brain or anything like that. I was sitting there while I was waiting for you. I got pizza. Have you ever had the pan style pizza from Domino's?
No.
It happened to be on sale as a medium, which I wanted to get because I didn't want to waste pizza. 2 pieces or 2 little slices are left in the fridge for you, just so you know. Wink, wink.
All right.
But it was it was like $9 or $10 or whatever it was, 2 topping, whatever. But it was kind of Pizza Hut-ish. I'm not a huge fan of Pizza Hut, but I haven't had it in a while. So, but anyhow, so yeah, it was good. So I sat here and ate my pizza and watched my stories until you got back and ate, and you're like, "Hey, are we ready yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting on you, man. I mean, not waiting on you. It's like whatever works, man. I don't care." So the one of the last things I wrote down on there, I don't think it was the action, it was the last part of it, where it says something along the lines. I wrote down, "Keep me from arrogance." I don't remember exactly what the line was from. I don't say that in my prayers, but I probably should, maybe.
Yeah, it was in the prayer. It was the last line of the prayer. Keep me from the arrogance that was part of my addiction.
There you go. And yeah, I mean, I know that I'm egotistical and that I don't necessarily use the word arrogant that much, but it's the same goddamn thing. But I mean, yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt for me to mention that every once in a while. Hey, by the way, give me the strength to not be an arrogant fuck, But I don't know. I mean, I'm egotistical. I do it more to fuck around than anything. I mean, I'm not full of myself. I was completely fucking full of myself, honestly, prior to sobriety. But I mean, I think and I hope that I do it more just kind of fucking around these days because I don't think I'm special. I mean, I really
Mm-hmm.
don't. I mean, I have everyone's got special qualities and things that we can do and things that we provide to people and to the world
Mm-hmm.
and your job or whatever the case is. We have skills,
Sure.
but I mean, I don't think as they say, God, quote unquote, God's gift to fucking
Anything.
anything,
Right.
anything. But then the other thing I wrote down was something about pain helped us to keep using. But there was one thing that I really liked in there that we were seduced by intensity and
Mm-hmm.
mistook it for intimacy. So
Right.
um, I don't know. I mean, I have thoughts on that, but what did you think about that? I mean, just in general, that whole thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, absolutely. I mean, every well, yeah, every relationship I was in prior to being sober, yeah, I wanted, the chaos and all that crap. I mean, that's kind of how I grew up, so that's how I figured things went.
Right.
Um, and yeah, and thought that was, if you're if you're all fucking out of your mind over somebody, that must be love. Um,
Right.
and clearly it's not. Mistaking, yeah, insanity, whatever, man, intensity for intimacy, and it's not. Intimacy to me today should be more comfort and just and trust and yeah, not having to worry about that intensity anymore. I
Right.
like comfortable. I like knowing that, I'm fairly stable to anyone around me, and I like the people around me to be fairly stable too.
Right. Well, and when I was talking about that dating app, was that last week? I think
Yeah.
with the, she was clearly. I mean, I don't know if she was nuts or maybe she's been just been fucking hurt and it's her reaction to whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily there was a craziness to her which
Sure.
and then as seriously as the more she gets into it, I'm reading these things I'm like, God damn, this chick's fucking crazy. I'm like, oof,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and and I know for a fucking fact, and I'm not saying that either one of my ex-wives were nuts, but
Mm.
when I met them, like Dawn, I've talked about my son's mom a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and her the way that her and I were, and I think I forget how you said it the one time. You said passion runs both ways or something like that.
All right.
And it was. I mean, it was like we were like really fucking hot or really fucking cold.
Right.
And it was the extremes. When things were good, they were really fucking good. But
Mm-hmm.
when shit got bad, and I take my responsibilities for all of that stuff, and I've all that's all said and done. But
Mm-hmm.
when it got bad, it got really fucking bad.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the intensity of our relationship to begin with, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I loved her to death. I know I did. She was the
Mm-hmm.
first, and no, again, not taking anything away from Pam, my first wife.
Right.
I loved her, and we were in love, but it was a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know, does that make sense? As you grow, you learn how to love differently. I know I
No,
have.
absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a goddamn good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to love the way I did when I was 18 years old, young, dumb, and full of cum.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and I've said it before, and I've time and time and time again, but I've learned that there truly is there's levels of love. There's
Mm-hmm.
people. I have people in my life, family members, friends, male, female, that I love on
Mm-hmm.
different levels, and I would have no issue whatsoever in telling those people that I love them. Unless I think that person might take it the wrong way. Not a lot of people understand that it's a black and white. Either it's love or it's not.
Right.
Um, where I thankfully I've grown to that point. It is. It's a huge comfort to be able to love somebody on a different level. And I've
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to women about that before that I've been involved in. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, sex is great.
Sure.
And that's the whatever you want to call it, the poster child of intimacy, if you want to put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know what? A deep conversation, holding somebody's hand, sitting on the couch with somebody,
Right.
that just that human touch and that human involvement, that's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And in realizing that, I mean, fuck, I didn't realize any of that shit, at least not on the right level, until we
Right.
got sober.
Exactly. And I mean, and like I said, just completely knowing that someone's there. That's intimate.
Right.
Knowing I can say anything, knowing that no matter, time of day, whatever, man, that person is there. And again, the other way around, knowing that I am there for another person, no matter what time of day, no matter what the circumstance, no matter, how shit went sideways for them or shit's going sideways for me or whatever, man, we're there for each other. And that's, we're not going to run away. We're not going to blame, and we're not going to, how dare you do this to me? Well, it's got nothing to fucking do with me. Thankfully, we've hopefully, smashed that ego a little bit and humbled ourselves and realized it's not about me. It's about them. And I get to be there for them like that. And that's intimate to me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, just having that, because you can have, intimacy doesn't, and I think that's a good distinction between, going back again to the love and the intimacy, male, female, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's that closeness, and with children, family members, really
Sure.
good friends. I mean, there is, knowing that you can trust somebody,
Mm-hmm.
is a true form of intimacy. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a great point. And that is the problem though, is that, and I don't know if it's different than, with the younger generation now, but I mean, I know that I wasn't, and I don't blame it on like mom and my dad or anything like that, but nobody sat down with me and talked to me about sex and how to deal with relationships and things like that,
Probably because they didn't know.
Yeah, but I mean, you made a good point a few minutes ago, saying that that you saw how people were, so that's how you acted,
Sure.
and that's how shit was, and and part of it, I mean, my head was all fucked up to begin with, and alcoholic tendencies, and then becoming an alcoholic full blown, and all that stuff. I mean, none of that, all of that outside stuff, that symptomatic stuff, that you're adding on top of it, fuel to the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never did anything ever to work on myself until I was 41 years old and was dragged into these fucking rooms. I don't mean these fucking rooms. I don't mean that in a bad way,
Right.
But yeah, I never did any work on myself ever.
Right. Well, no. Why would you? Why mess with perfection?
Right. Why mess with the arrogance that was me and the hey, I'm fine. You're all fucked up over there.
Everybody else is all fucked up, but I'm fucking wonderful.
Yeah, and then the other part of the reading, obviously learning from our past. Yes, we know that. But so one of the first lines in there was, and that might have been the opening line, about learning is a lifelong adventure.
Right.
And you said you'd want to stay anonymous with that statement, which made me laugh, but I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by that. So expand.
Well, yeah, whatever. The phrasing of it, it's a lifelong adventure. It's a goddamn poster with a cat hanging on it or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's all. Yeah. No, the sentiment is fine. And
right.
I agree with it. It's just the way it was phrased was, whatever, man.
No. And that's a good point. Yeah. And see, once again, back to dating apps, and you and I have talked about when people refer to themselves as educated. And I'm seeing more lately. People will say, or I'm highly educated. I'm just like, fuck, man.
Right.
But, I mean, again, it's fine. Just I don't even know. Does somebody that think it's arrogant for them to say I went to 4 years of school? Maybe it took you 5. I went to this university. Does somebody think that that's more arrogant than saying I'm highly educated? And exactly, what do you know? I want to sit down. I want to match with one of these people, but that would just be being a dick. I don't want to be a dick these days. In another world and in another life, I'd love to match with some of these people, be able to sit down with them for coffee and say, okay, you're highly educated. Now let's touch on that. Explain.
Right.
You just sit back and go, fucking wow me. How fucking smart are you? And I mean, whatever. Even if you're talking about something over my head, I don't give a fuck, because it's probably something I don't care about or I don't want to sit there and learn more about at the moment. Maybe I do. Maybe you can teach me something. But so you're highly educated. What does it fucking mean?
I don't know.
It's a lifelong journey, though. I'm sorry, lifelong adventure.
Yes.
So what else? What else on the reading?
I don't know. Yeah. you know, well, no, one of the things I liked is, figuring out how we got so lost in the first place is, for me, yeah, highly, highly useful.
Right.
So I don't get lost again. The behaviors and the attitudes and all of that took me that got me lost. That got me, standing at the fucking door of the Keating Center, going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, thankfully, I'm not lost today. I know where I'm at, and it's a wonderful feeling. But yeah, but I learned that by working the program, working the steps, using, the people around me and their stories and their experiences as well as my own, and yeah, finding out how I got lost, and so I don't go back there and be lost again, because I don't want to. I like where I'm at today. I'm sometimes, you ask the question, what about sobriety? Is bad for you or whatever. I mean, there's shit that I can't tolerate that I used to tolerate. And sometimes that makes life a little more difficult. But I wouldn't go back. There's things that I just won't tolerate today from people and places and things, and I don't. And
Right.
occasionally, it makes it a little tougher, because I got to work a little harder, and I got to stick to my guns, and I got to have a fucking backbone, and all that shit that I didn't have for a very long time. But again, I wouldn't give it away. I'm grateful for knowing where I'm at, and not being lost today.
Right. And that's a good point too, because I mean, the old saying, and we kind of, well, I know I do a lot. I lean on some of these old sayings or common sayings of, we didn't say it's going to be easy. We said it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And it is. And even though, and we've been very open about this, that I think both you and I feel, and we've talked about it, that we don't feel that we have to work as hard anymore, like today at least,
Right.
to maintain what we have as we did even 5 years ago, or certainly 10 years ago, or certainly, 15 years ago, because
Right.
15 years ago, fuck man, what is it, May 2nd?
Right.
I mean, we're just,
Yeah, right. Oh
yeah.
I'd been in the Keating Center, maybe 5 days at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, and I would have been there, what, 8 or 9, whatever the
Right.
case was.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was fixed, fucking good,
Mm-hmm.
living my best life after 9 days. But but the point is that I think what, maybe what we don't talk about, well, we do, but that all the work that went into it, and still the continuous work, the maintenance. Once again, your favorite saying from the big book,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That daily reprieve, which is based and contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual. Why can't I think of the
Condition.
word? God damn! Wow, I almost said spiritual connection. I'm like, that's not right.
It's a C word.
that it is. But yeah, it is. It's all about maintaining it. And I mean, we know people that I can skip the reading today. I can
Sure.
skip my prayers. I can skip this. Somebody called me and wanted some help, and I just don't feel like doing it. And whatever the case is, and sooner or later it's gonna catch up. And
There's
I think
a podcast to do, and I really don't want to fucking do it.
right. But the other thing too, and I was serious. I'm like, if you didn't want to do it, because it's so fun. If you didn't want to do it, then this is no fun. But
right.
Because I mean that's why we do this. We do it for obviously for others, but we've been very open about that. If this isn't fun anymore, we're not going to fucking do it.
Right.
And I didn't mean like let's just never do the podcast again.
I know.
Just like, if you don't want to fucking do it tonight, I mean, I could have gone to bed early, I'd get up early,
Yeah.
go, do whatever I got to do. But yeah, if you got plans, I mean, I get it.
Right.
I was just,
and it's just, and again, it does come back to, no, this is a fucking commitment that I made, and
right.
I don't give a fuck how I feel. And no, I don't want to do it, but yeah, here we are doing it. Yay.
Right. Well, and hopefully, just under 23 minutes in, I don't know, maybe I'm not gonna speak for you, but maybe you start to feel a little bit better after 25 minutes. It's a couple minutes to go. Don't say yet. Not
Wait,
yet. It's coming.
Hang on. Okay. Oh, okay. It's coming.
It's on its way. It's not at 25, it's at an hour 25, whichever one comes second or last or first or whatever.
Okay.
But so no, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, it's a matter of, we need to. You're right. I mean, it is the commitment. It's keeping our,
Yeah.
the structure. It's everything,
Mhm.
100% everything. And I don't know. I mean, I can't. I was just trying to think about the last time that anything. Well, the only thing that ever I don't even want to say interrupted. It's such a bad way to put it, but I mean, mom died and sort of
Yeah.
interrupted my morning routine, but it didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't let
Right.
it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And that may seem a little cold, but I'm like, fuck no, man. I have to do
Well,
this,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly when you should be doing it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, clearly every day, and it should be doing it always. But yeah, when the shit hits the fan, damn right, especially then.
Right. Yeah, I did not want to go out and I don't even remember. I was like I said, I ran over to the facility she was at and had to go to her house and I did some
Hmm.
grocery shopping and all this different stuff. I When I left the house, I think I was gone for I don't know 6 hours and I'm trying. I remember at the time trying to account for 6 hours. What the fuck did I do for 6 hours? I know what I
Hmm.
did. I
Hmm.
didn't. I wasn't just sitting someplace like going,
Right.
But yeah, it was just. I mean, it was walking around the fucking cloud or driving around in a cloud for 6 goddamn hours.
Well,
But I got the shit done because I had to get done because that's what we need to do.
hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep those
So
feet moving.
yeah, and like you said, I'm glad you said that too, especially at those times. So, what else? Anything in the reading that kind of caught your eye, attention? Anything?
No.
All right, all
No,
right.
I think we hit the points that I jumped out at me. So there we go.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I know I say it all the time, but that keep it simple reading was really good.
Right.
Yes. Once again, that's how much I fucking pay attention. But oh, so well, I mean, I had a couple of kind of thoughts from over the weekend because yeah, we had an opportunity. I've been out in Cleveland all week, and we had an opportunity to get together with some friends. It was our, Mike's anniversary was obviously last Tuesday, mine the previous
Hmm.
Friday, but we've done it, again with the exception of pandemic years, we know. But
Right.
yeah, every year. I mean, obviously when I was here, but every year we get together for anniversaries and. Um, Last year we went to the casino. Year before, I don't know what we did. This year, ended up some of the friends, our sober friends, came over
Yep.
to play cards at the house here, and
Hmm.
it was it was a lot of fun.
It was.
It's a small group, but had food and fucking what were we listening to? Yacht rock. Yeah, we were
Ah,
listening
yes.
which I know is not your first choice, but
No.
again, compromise, right? But
Yeah, absolutely. No, others.
right.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. There was a request from the crowd, and so I acquiesced.
But yeah, there was. I mean, we knew all the goddamn songs. I mean, everyone sitting
Of
at that
course.
table knew the goddamn songs, and then just a couple of them came up, and it was fucking funny. And I don't know, it was a good time. And then so you and Angel won, right?
Yes. Angel
Yes.
won. I came in second.
Yeah, and here's the funny part. So, how we play Texas Hold'em, one dealer,
Hmm.
this and that, and usually sometimes it's been two tables, and then we narrow down and blah blah blah,
Right.
and we get down to or three people, third person gets knocked out, and then it's just one and two,
Hmm.
because one of the guys there was Igor. He was saying that they sometimes play for number one too,
Right.
but I mean I could see that going on for fucking ever. But I understand his point, but
Sure.
um, but the whole thing is that Angel, it was so funny. What was it? I mean, a couple hours before that, I mean, she went all in with like I don't know $1.75 or
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
And it's only a $15 buy-in, or usually it's 20, but this time we did
Right.
15. So we're
Hmm.
not playing with big money.
No.
But she was fucking done,
Yep.
and she won. She won her part of the split pot, I think, on that one, and then
Hmm.
just fucking built her empire and won.
Yes.
Literally, and after a while, I'm not paying attention. I'm doing whatever. I'm eating some shit. Then whatever. Like I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on over there?
Hmm.
But no, it's always a lot of fun, and You know, I mean, it's you don't necessarily have to be the best poker player in the world. It's just
Yeah.
fun, you know, getting together with people, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm clearly not the best poker player in the world, but yeah, it's fun just hanging out.
Well, and I think that we've all gotten, at least since I started playing, since I started coming around, I've noticed people, including by mainly me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just getting more patient with it, realizing that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that it's, you don't have to bet every time. You can fold, you can
Right.
do whatever. Because
Mm-hmm.
the first time I played was at Michael and Megan's
Mm-hmm.
apartment over on
Right. Yeah.
Was it Clifton?
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, over there, the West Side little Italian neighborhood.
Yeah, which was
Yeah.
they had that upstairs apartment up there,
Uh
which
huh.
was it was nice. But I mean, I hadn't played poker in fucking years. I knew how to play, you know, I didn't forget. But I mean, my mindset was it's fucking $15. What do I care, man? I'm
Mm-hmm.
betting this that I was out. I was out in like 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, well, okay. Yeah, I know for a fact that you and I drove together. So I mean, I wouldn't have left
Mm-hmm.
anyhow because it was, you know, for me just kind of hanging out. But I learned after that, and I've won. I think I've won money twice,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. In the, but I mean, I don't play every time. But
Sure.
yeah, I've learned some. Imagine that. I've learned
Mm.
patience even with that, not to fucking blow my load, you know,
Uh-huh.
completely and literally right off the bat, and just be sitting there going, "Wow, this is fucking fun."
Right.
But so yeah, then went to your meeting, went to your home group on Sunday, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nice too because there was you and me, and then Sean,
Right.
who's been part of your group for he's been going to Puritas. I mean, not as long as you have, correct?
No. 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 I'm the old man there now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
the longest tenured member, correct?
Uh-huh. Correct. Yes. But yeah, no, Sean's been well pre-pandemic, so probably 6, maybe 7 years, something like that.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
enjoy seeing him every time. And then what was the other dude? The secretary, right? I can never remember.
Andrew.
Andrew. I like
Mm-hmm.
Andrew. Andrew's another
Mm-hmm.
one. You know,
Yeah,
just
me
shoot
too.
the shit with those guys. But yeah, it was when they when they announced, and anyone obviously with years of sobriety, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
me, Sean, and Mike were sitting back there in the same area. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, you looked at me and you're like, well, I guess we'll go in order. So I went first,
Mm-hmm.
then you and Sean. But it's
Right.
like 15, 15, and 17.
Yep.
Because yeah, Sean's got a couple years on us, and
Uh-huh.
when's his anniversary? 26.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool because you think about. I mean, once again, I mean, we've said this before, coming up to this, and even in years past. I mean, it's a lot of time, but it's not. But when
Right.
you sit there, and I mean, it was just it's kind of mind blowing. Just three normal fucking guys there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's 47 years.
Right.
I mean, sitting at a fucking table.
Yeah.
I mean, that when I thought about that, when by the time Sean went, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot. I mean, all of us. It was almost like, not even almost, it was humbling,
Yeah.
But the same point, right? I mean, we're there. Obviously, it's nice to have the look at me moment, but like you said last week, right? Showing other people
Mm-hmm.
that it could be
Yeah.
done.
Right. Scumbag like me can do it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, and there are. I think there's a decent number of new-ish people. I think, or
Oh yeah.
at that meeting, right?
Always. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then a couple of people that that I hadn't seen in a while. Like the one guy, I mean, I didn't realize he was getting a paper signed. I'm like, that dude was around when we first got sober.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I mean, no bad examples, but obviously he's bounced around a little bit. But the lead was good. You had the person who is now going to be your secretary, the female. She was
Mm-hmm.
the chairperson.
Chairperson. Yep.
So she had the leads, and then this was her last lead for the month, and the person who was up there, the person she got the lead, was she 31, 32, something like that?
Something like that.
Had been sober for I think 9 years.
Yeah.
9. So yeah, got sober young. I think had a decent story, engaging enough
Mm-hmm.
lead. Didn't run on about anything too long because Mike and I hate that with
Mm-hmm.
any of these fucking leads, but interesting. But then going around at the end of these meetings, I don't know if it's all meetings all over the place, but in most cases, obviously the Lord's Prayer is said or whatever. And the
Mm-hmm.
way it's usually started off is somebody like, who keeps us sober or whatever. And
Right.
then she said, you remember what she said?
No, I don't. Yeah, I know it was something clever.
Yeah, she said, "Who's the boss that keeps us off the sauce?"
That's right.
And again, neither one of us are God guys, but I fucking laughed. And I immediately after we were done with that, I made a note on my sheet here because I'm like, I gotta mention that fucking made me laugh. It just made me fucking laugh. But yeah, she was kind of a trip. But I don't know. It was a good weekend, and this week has just been, well, you haven't had the greatest the greatest work week, but hey, it's been relatively uneventful. I know you've had some, again, long nights at work, but kind of is what it is, right?
It is.
But yeah, so the thing that we didn't mention last week, and I don't know if this is anything that I don't necessarily have a conversation about, but obviously the Pope died.
Uh-huh.
So again, I don't know if that's a conversation piece. I don't know that either one of us have anything to say about it, but just, I mean, when he was sick, I don't know, whatever it was, a few months ago. I mean, it's just at that point, I mean, I just, based on articles I read, I'm like, I thought the dude was going to be dead like 6 months ago,
Sure.
But yeah, so Pope died. Now they're doing the what is it called? Conclave?
Yeah. Something
Okay.
like that. I don't know, man. I haven't been Catholic for a real long time.
Yeah. Only thing I know nothing about it until a Pope passes away, and then they end up talking about it. You read some articles that talk about it on the morning show that I listen to. So I get bits and pieces of it there. But like I said, I didn't know that was. I had no inkling that was going to be any sort of a conversation piece, but I had that written down. So
All right. No, it's not.
I didn't think so either. All right. One last thing from the meeting, because she talked about this. This is when I said I was going to ask you a question. I said I wrote it down for the podcast.
Oh yeah.
This was the new secretary, the person we were just talking about, who was the chairperson. So my question to you, Mike, is she brought it up and she had one at the meeting. Have you ever been tased?
All right. No, I have not.
Really? Okay. I just
Go ahead.
It's just what I was trying to think of. I'm like, you told me that story when you were basically in the system but not on paper in the system that one time.
Oh
and
yeah,
I remember you said
when they put me in the chair.
Yeah, the cops tuned you up a little bit, and I'm like,
they did.
Did he say that he got tased? I'm like, I don't
No.
fucking remember. It literally was one of those, like, I mean, I was about to ask you to be, I'm like, fuck this, man. This is a podcast topic. I can't talk about getting tased and not have it be on a fucking recording.
Right.
So you have never, okay? I
have not.
I never have either, but I don't know. They were, a couple of the guys were talking about that. They said, some people could just fucking take it like it's no big deal, which I don't understand. But
well, you have the right amount of chemicals in you, and it doesn't affect you.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on like PCP and shit. You're just fucking going it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I've never been around somebody. I've never been in a group or something like that. Like, I mean, you see it, you hear about it at concerts, and well, I guess I've never been in a protest or anything like that. Probably where people might get tased, or I've never been in a group arrest, or I've never tried to loot or anything like that. These are all yets. I mean,
sure.
I haven't done any of that yet. But yeah, I don't know.
No, never been in a position that, I mean, other than that one time, I'm usually pretty, they're fucking idiots with guns. I'm not going to argue with them too much.
Right. Yeah. And when I got picked up for underage drinking, and I know I talked about this before, but I'm 17 years old. I'm fucking lit up, and, I'm just fucking mouthing off to this. There's a male and a female cop, and, mouthing off to both of them. And, the cop let me know what was, who was boss when he put the handcuffs on. I mean, he tightened those fuckers right up. Unnecessary, but necessary, of course.
Sure.
I mean, I wasn't going anywhere, but he made goddamn sure I knew I had handcuffs on me. And same thing when I got arrested at the bar that night when Pam was sick, and I'm in that fucking cop's face telling him to hit me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, because I remember all this stuff that's in a haze, And
Right.
same thing. I don't remember if there was anyone else in the jail that night. I mean, I could have got the fucking shit beat out of me,
Sure.
And he was big. He's a big dude too,
Right.
So yeah, like, well, you just said, fucking idiots with guns. I mean, I kind of keep your cool. I never even crossed my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, dude's got a gun. He might shoot me.
Right.
These days, yes.
C- high school students that weren't good enough at football.
Wow.
Thank you.
But even, I mean, shit, even now, I mean, when you see people. I told Derek that when he first got his license. Then I realized a lot of things happen. It's a minority thing, and minorities in some cases, but not always. You know, you get some
Yeah.
fucking wild ass cop. It doesn't matter whether what color you are, what race, what
Right.
male, female, whatever. Some guy or lady, gets a hair up their ass. And I mean, anytime I've gotten pulled over, I put. And I never have, well, not never, but I'm not a 10 and 2 type of person all the time. But my registration's always in the glove box. I don't reach for
Right.
anything until the cop comes
No.
up and I ask
Yeah.
if I could do that.
Right.
It's in my glove box. Can I do that? I have my hands on the steering wheel or on
Yep.
my, I'm like, I'm not fucking around. I mean,
Absolutely not.
yeah. I mean, I just,
I don't want to get shot.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even doing it. At the times I was doing something, I'm not saying that I would have deserved to get shot, but it's less likely I'm doing something today that where I should be shot versus, maybe 20 years ago.
Right.
But still, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to fuck around with this shit. So anyhow, I don't know. I apologize. I don't mean that. I apologize for that surprising me that that you've never been tased. But
again, there's a lot of things I should have had happen to me that didn't. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be one of them.
Well, and that's a good point. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, I don't know. I would have supposed out of all the friends that I know that you might have been the one that got it. So all right. So one quick one before we take a break here. This is from Keep It Simple. Today I'll think about why it's my fate to be in recovery. Okay. So I wrote this down for a reason because my question for you is, do you consider it fate that you ended up in recovery?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, and that was my thought, but I wanted to, kind of get the why behind that, get your why you're feeling and that sort of thing behind it.
No, my fate is I should be dead. That's my fate. Yeah, I cheated it. Yeah, by getting sober. No, my fate was clearly not. My fate was, my actions and my thoughts and all of that led me to the grave.
Right.
I got, I don't know, lucky maybe, again, moment of clarity. I woke up, I looked around and went, back to the original reading. I was lost and didn't want to be anymore. So I stopped being lost and started asking for some directions.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. Trying to think of anything that, I mean, I think things happen. People come into our lives. We've talked about that. Weird shit happens. It's maybe unexplainable. People come into our lives at the right time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I believe in fate. I can't really look at anything and say, this was fate or that sort of thing. And I even down to the point of, they're, I don't know, a soulmate. And that's hard to think, but because I take a look at people like you and Chris. I mean, you've been together for what 3-4 years now? Is that
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, couple weeks.
Couple weeks, couple 3-4 weeks.
Right. Yeah. No, it'll be 9 years in August.
Yeah, I know. And well, she knows I think this, and I think this. I think she's fucking wonderful. I love her to death. Was it fate that you guys ended up together? Is it destiny? Are you soulmates? I mean, anything like that. It's just if you're in a deep and committed relationship where you're right for somebody, does that mean that But that's all meaning of life and all that stuff. And
yeah,
because I look at again back to my ex-wives and back to with Pam and Dawn. I've had other people in my life that I've loved, and that I think were really good people for me. And could I meet somebody else in the same way? So does that mean that both of my wives, those were not the people? They could have been if I wouldn't have fucked things up,
Sure.
So I mean, I just don't know. I don't believe necessarily in fate and all that shit. That's why I wrote that one down, because I wanted to, it's just today I'll think about why it's my fate to be in recovery, and I'm like, it's just, it didn't, I don't know, didn't jive with my thought pattern. So
exactly. No, me neither.
All right. Well, good. Look at that. Here's one page. Here's the other. We're on the same page right now. And speaking of that, what do you think? Are you ready for a break? Take a breather.
constantly. All right, we'll be back with more of whatever this is right after these words from our sponsors.
Hey everyone, this is Finn and Dr. Sarah from Leaving Crazy Town, the podcast where we discuss codependency, relationships, recovery, and addiction, while keeping it real with humorous stories of our own lives.
You're listening to Sober Not Mature with the badass boys of recovery, Mike and Bill, whose dedication to sobriety takes you on a wild ride with just the right amount of edginess. Fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the episode.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi there.
Yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have two websites now. So two websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. But from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, at least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me 24 Hours, the Big Book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. .com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
Did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone. You've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone. Welcome back. And I got nothing. I got nothing snappy. Nothing snappy. Nothing out of the ordinary. You kind of had just a kind of relaxed, laid back.
Mm-hmm.
This is our fucking sponsors coming up, and so there it is.
Here it is.
All right, so a couple of things that I wrote down, and I think these might be things that I wrote down this week or relatively recently. This one kind of blew my mind, and obviously I know this would have been in the month of April, of course. That wasn't that long ago, earlier this week.
Right.
But it said, and this is once again from Keep It Simple, and whatever the reading was about, obviously the entire month had sprinkled in stuff about the 4-step, understandably. Mm-hmm. But it said the end of it, or part of it said, today I'll review my 4th step. Okay.
I remember that, sort of.
So here's my question. And I'm sure it was something like, if I haven't done it yet, I'll get at it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So both you and I, well, okay, I'm not going to speak for you. Mike, you did your 4th step, right?
I did.
Yeah, we talked about it. I know, I'm fucking around. But did you save your 4th step?
No.
Okay. And that was my question. I'm like, how can we were told, and for anyone out there that is not in 12-step recovery, the whole point of the 4-step, if you want to do some research and get into it all, we'll just make it simple here. Just writing down all the weird shit you did, all the fucked upness, how horrible a person you were. You put it down on paper, and then your 5th step is telling it to somebody and getting it off your chest and blah. In this most simplest terms, right? That about get it?
Well, by definition, it's an inventory. You find the good things and the bad things.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of the nastiness that we go through and how we are.
There's a lot of the bad. Yeah,
Right.
Clearly we were pretty shitty people. So the bad is definitely going to outweigh the good. But the whole point of it is to sort that shit out so you know what to hang on to and what to let go of.
Right. And and like I said with the 10-step, and I miss that. I miss that concept with my 4-step, and I miss that concept with my 10-step for years.
Mm-hmm.
About looking at the good part of it. I wasn't beating myself up,
Right.
with any of it. I missed that part of the concept. But even if I would have put down, the things I did right, the priest is the one that took all the shit that I talked about and gave me very positive directions to it. So he kind of added, I guess, the good back into my shit.
Right.
Which, thank you, little priest.
Right.
And he was a little guy. I'm not trying to belittle him. He was a very little priest.
He was diminutive.
Yes. But I mean, we're told that you shouldn't just leave that lying around, because we've heard stories before, that a spouse or a friend or a family member,
right,
finds that shit, whether they're looking for it or not, and it can cause problems. I mean, you're
absolutely,
you're unloading shit on there that maybe that, I don't know, it's sensitive if nothing else, right? I don't remember what I did with it. I don't think people are like, burn the fucking thing, man. I'm like,
right.
I don't think I burned it.
Right.
Although
I know I didn't.
I was gonna say, I smoked it at the time. I had a lighter. I could have burned it.
Sure.
But, I think I probably just ripped it up into little shreds and just probably set the like fucking confetti or whatever it was. That just kind of surprised me. To review your 4-step, I'm just kind of like, okay, I can't because I don't have it. I kind of remember what I talked about, but I don't. Let's sit back dwelling on the goddamn shit. All these years later, so. Just I don't know, just seemed like a weird idea or concept for me.
It did. Yeah. I remember reading that. Yeah. Whatever. Within the last week or so. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think so, because I don't have it.
Exactly. All right. So this is kind of, I didn't read this over now before. I'm going to read it now. This is from Touchstones. It looks like kind of a long one. It's 4 sentences long. So, a strange and intriguing mystery confronts us in the 12 steps. We are mending our ways. We are becoming accountable. We are striving to do what's right. So we agree up to this point. Yet we are learning to let go. This seems like a contradiction of logic, but it leads us to a spiritual awakening. So my question that I have in parentheses: do you feel like it was a contradiction of logic when you first got sober? Because like they said there, it seems like you're mending your ways, becoming accountable, but yet letting go. Did you ever feel like that was contradictory at all, or?
No, I mean, well, it brings us back to the 4th step. I mean, that's the whole point of taking that inventory. I just said it, find the stuff that you want to hang on to and the crap that you got to get rid of. And yeah, it's total sense. But yeah, that's what the 4th step is for, is finding the stuff to hang on to and becoming better and building on and letting go of the garbage.
Right.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, and when I read that, maybe it wasn't I don't know if it confused me or I was looking at it, I'm like, why would that be a contradiction? It seemed like it didn't make sense to me why it would be looked at as a contradiction.
Right.
But I mean, I get what you're saying. It's filtering out the what's good and what's bad and being able to decipher all of it, right?
Right, exactly. How the hell are you going to know what to build on if you don't know what to build on?
Yeah, I mean that's a goddamn good point. Yeah. Well,
and how do you know? Yeah, the stuff that you need to stop doing and get rid of. Yeah, and again, you got to look at all that stuff. That's what the 4th step is for.
Right. So did and again, I know I mentioned before that I never took a look at myself, and it just made me think about it again with this, like things that you could work on and that sort of thing. In the times that I guess going back to the times that you entered and dabbled into sobriety and things like that. I know you said that you didn't do it, didn't commit completely and that sort of thing, but
right.
At the, let's say that the first time that you did it, did you go in there with at least an open mind at all, where you're like, okay, I want to see what I could do to change, or was it the thought pattern of maybe what a lot of people think, and that how to drink better or
right,
or drink normal? I mean, I don't know, I'm asking.
Right. I mean, yeah, that was the hope. But yeah, no, it was. I didn't. Again, I gotta hate it, but I didn't know what I didn't know.
Right.
I thought, yeah, I didn't realize that, I missed the part. I mean, I'd read the big book several times before and whatever. I apparently missed the part where alcohol and drugs were just a symptom, that there was, there was some fundamental shit wrong with me that I needed to fix. And but again, my attitude was, well, no, it's everybody else's problem, and I'm basically okay. It's all this other shit that's fucking me up, right? Yeah, no responsibility, no. But again, I didn't know any better, so what the hell? So clearly that didn't work.
Right.
This time I was just like, yeah, clearly there's some fundamental shit wrong with me that I need to fix. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I only laugh because I mean that's the whole point. I mean, we all are, we all are trying to, right?
Right.
And the only thing I thought about, and even though, I mean, I can go back to saying that my dad was an alcoholic, died sober, all this different shit. I was at meetings with them every once in a while. I don't remember any seeds, and not even being planted, but I never remember sitting in a meeting and necessarily taking anything out of it, even where like Kathy has talked about, and I think we've had a couple other people that are normies that say,
Right.
you know what, even though I don't have a problem over here, some of these things you guys talk about make sense because they're
Right.
and we talked about it, they're life things,
Yeah. Truths.
Yeah, I mean, literally take out the idea of alcohol, and the things that we're doing in our lives. We're trying to become better people because, like you just said, alcohol is just a symptom and all those sort of things. But I was trying to think back at so I learned nothing from my dad. He gave me the book about adult children of alcoholics, and obviously his wife at the time, I forget what the fuck she said, but she again pissed me off, and I'm like, well, fuck you, I'm not going to read it then, because I'll show her. But then when I got my DUI and going through those drunk classes, I think that might have been, I don't know. I mean, I was forced into, even though I didn't have to go to AA meetings or anything like that, but went through the drunk class and all that sort of stuff. I guess they were recovery meetings, sort of,
Right.
groups. But I mean, I wasn't walking into a church basement. All of us were there for the same goddamn reason. We had to be there. We were sanctioned, by the court to be there. But the only thing that, I mean, literally that I was trying to figure out how to not get caught again.
Right.
Again, the thing at the end. Oh, so everybody, Bill's gonna try to control his drinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do because I didn't. It was wrong place, wrong time. You weren't gonna.
Of course.
Nobody was going to even plant a seed, as they say. Thinking that I had an alcohol problem. I mean, I knew what I did.
Right.
I was fucking stupid. Which under any circumstance it was stupid, but I didn't look back at the pattern of what led up to it.
Right.
I mean, why would I?
Yep. Exactly.
So, I mean, I guess that's down to the same thing. I was just looking. Yeah, I wasn't looking at anything other than how do I not have this happen again? And my only thought pattern was, well, if I drink, I'm not going to drive. That's it.
Sure.
And that happened. I stuck to that for a little bit. I think I was sort of semi-successful at that, but yeah, it sure as fuck didn't happen forever, obviously.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to get someplace.
Yeah. How the fuck how you gonna get home from the bar? You don't be irresponsible to leave your car in the parking lot.
I'm too drunk to walk.
I can't just leave my car here. That'd be irresponsible.
Exactly.
Can't just take up a space in this parking lot overnight. Why would I want to do that?
No. Plus, I'm going to need my car in the morning.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. All right.
To go to the liquor store.
That's even a better point. That's even a fucking better point. All right, so this is Keep It Simple from a while ago. Don't remember. The only reason I know is because it's towards the top of this fucking list that I have. It says, and this was the quote, I think the opening quote, The measure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we probably touched on this subject before, but
All right.
how do you feel about that, or what are your thoughts about that? Agree, disagree? What are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If I can get away with it, should I do it? And right. But that's old thinking. Right. It doesn't matter if I can get away with it. Is it right or wrong? Is the question to ask. And yeah. And it doesn't matter if I can get away with it or not. There's lots of shit I can get away with today that I don't do because it's the wrong fucking thing to do.
Right.
Kind of sucks sometimes, but because again, who am I? To thine own self be true, man. I'm a liar, cheat, and a thief. Fuck yeah, I want to do that shit, but I don't, because damn it, I know that in the end, not because there's going to be some mansion in the sky for me. It's just I don't want to feel like shit. And eventually, unfortunately, I've figured out what's right, what's wrong. I don't want to feel guilty.
Right. Yeah, and that's I think that is the without a doubt. I think that's the biggest thing. I know for a fact, and I think both of us, if we're honest, we know for a fact there's plenty of things, and I don't mean that we could, and we probably for a little bit, maybe for about 15, 20 minutes, get away with starting to drink again, and then our lives will go to shit. But even taking away the obvious, but I think either one of us can openly admit that we could probably get away with plenty of things, doing something wrong, outside of our conscience,
absolutely.
outside of our feelings and beliefs, and probably never get caught.
Right. Yeah. Plus, we've built all this trust and shit up. People go, he's an all right guy. Look, he's been doing all this good shit for 15 years.
Right.
All right.
Right.
No, he would never do anything like that.
Right.
Again, alcoholic thinking, man. It's the way my brain works. Fuck yeah, I can get away with all kinds of shit. People trust me now.
Yeah. But to your point, and I think that the biggest thing is it would, and I'm glad this is what stops me from doing, the next wrong thing,
right?
Is because I know for a fact it would fucking eat me up. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I would have to correct it. I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't do that. And yes, granted, I don't want to hurt other people. I don't want to, God, like you said, the trust. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, the trust we have, like you just said, huge. I mean, people let us in their homes, when they're not home.
Right.
I don't think anyone's hiding their valuables. I guess I haven't looked. Thankfully, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anyone's hiding their valuables because I'm not looking.
Yeah. Well, I look around. There's some valuable shit sitting around. Oh, that's nice. Look at
that. There always is. I mean, there's things sitting out. You're like, it's probably got some worth.
Right.
But yeah, that part I didn't even think about. The trusting part.
I get a 20 bag for that shit.
Like a 20 bag. I can get a 20 piece. I ain't talking nuggets. I ain't talking nuggets either. But yeah, that's I am so happy. No, I just know. I know in my fucking head. I said it before. I can't throw a paper towel in a goddamn gas station bathroom or a truck stop bathroom and let it hit the floor and not pick it up. I can't. And, if I'm down there and there's another one, I got to grab a clean paper towel and I'll pick up another one that's sitting down there. I'm like, I'm not touching the motherfucking thing, but, I'll grab a clean paper towel and pick it up. Walking through whatever it was at Walmart that one time. And I just happened to bump into one of the containers and something fell on the floor. And I'm like,
right.
I'm trying to pick the goddamn thing up. But those are just the little things. I couldn't imagine a big thing would fucking, it would tear me up. It would fucking tear me up. All right. Another one from Touchstones. In the beginner's mind, there are possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. If I think I'd fucking know everything, I'm not gonna learn anything. Oh, I already got all this shit down. I don't need anything else. And then you're gonna miss stuff. and you're not going to be, you're not going to get better. You're not going to be, more educated and have more knowledge if you think you have all that there is to have. I clearly don't know everything. There's lots and lots of stuff I don't know. And I got to remember that because, I walk into a situation and go, oh, yeah, I know what's going on here. And I don't. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Right. Quite honestly, I couldn't imagine, having that mindset anymore of feeling like I know everything,
Mm-hmm.
because I know I did. I didn't know everything. I acted like I did, or felt like
Right.
I didn't need anyone's help.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what makes things fun for me these days, and I do mean it. It makes life interesting and more enjoyable. Is realizing that I don't know a lot. Maybe
Right.
I know very little. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You said it before. I don't know what I don't know.
Yep.
But I couldn't imagine going through life and if somebody said to me, "No, you're good. You finished the internet. That's all. That's all there is to it. You're all good. You have nothing more to learn." I'd be like, "Really?
Yeah. Why am I getting up tomorrow?
Yeah, you have nothing more to learn, nothing more to see, nothing more to be impressed about, no more good,
Mm-hmm.
neat moons to look at, great sunsets, nothing new on
Right.
TV, nothing, no book to read, nothing. Everything's just the way that it is. That's
Mm-hmm.
it." I'd be like, "Well, fuck, I don't want any of this shit. I want to
Right.
live that. I want to live like that."
No, absolutely not.
Well, and that is one of the recovery sayings is remain or stay or whatever a beginner, right? I think I
Mm-hmm.
remember how the term is, but I mean that is. I mean you gotta. I mean, yeah, we know some shit. We've been around a couple of minutes. A
Yep.
couple of 24s.
Couple. Yep.
Not a few yet, a couple.
Not yet.
But yeah, I couldn't even imagine having somebody tell me that yeah, it's done. You've
Right.
learned
Yeah.
everything.
There's nothing more to see here.
All the beauty that you've seen and all the amazing things that you've experienced over the last, well, even just 15 years now that you have a clear head.
Mm-hmm.
You've done it all. You're
Right.
good.
Great.
Well, fuck. I don't like that at all.
No, sir.
All right. 24 hours a day. This, I believe, was just from the other day. I pray that I may constantly prepare myself for better things to come.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that I may only have opportunities when I am ready for them.
Mm.
And I remember you're saying,
Right.
do you think that you're always preparing for better things? That's obviously my question for you. And the last sentence, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have your favorite saying, what that was?
Yeah, I could find it here. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's God, it's getting pretty fucking faded. I must not expect what I'm not prepared for.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it says. I pray that I may constantly prepare myself for better things to come, and only have the opportunities when I'm ready for them. So,
right.
So I think, I mean, obviously, and that's the reason I wrote it down, because I remembered that saying that you had talked about. So I don't know, for maybe people that have forgot, maybe me. I mean, why did you, to begin with, why did you gravitate to that or save it, or what was the meaning to it to begin with, the reason that you grabbed onto that?
Because I expected everything always, and without being prepared for it. And, I wanted everything without putting any of the work in. And I've got to remember that it's the other way around. I've got to put the work in, and then when I'm ready for it, the good shit will happen. And that's when it's good. If you hand me something and I didn't do anything for it, it doesn't fucking have any value. And I want, I want to value the good things that I have in my life. And the only way to do that is to work for it, prepare myself.
Right. Yeah, and and I think we probably did have that same type of conversation last time. And I thought about it with, and I don't know if I used this example, but it just popped into my head when I turned 16. I mean, Mom had a car, and obviously Kathy, 2 years older than me. For anyone who doesn't know, our sister is 2 years older than me. So she'd been driving for a little bit, and just Mom had the one car, and Her and Larry were together at that point, but
Mhm.
I don't think I ever drove his car. If I did, I mean, he softened over the years, but he
Uh-huh.
was just, yeah, it was his fucking car,
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, because he fucking worked for it. It's
Yeah.
his.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Didn't want any. Yeah. Then they got a conversion van, and we were allowed to drive that every once in a while. But
Mm,
that turned out to be that was his. He drove the conversion van because that's when he got rid of his. He had a silver 2-door Cutlass.
nice.
Oh, you know what? I gotta remind me of the ice cream. Larry in the ice cream store in a minute.
Okay.
So just reminded me of that with his Cutlass. But so when I turned 16, it wasn't a big deal, but like, it would have been nice to have a car. I don't remember if I
Huh?
used to walk to work. I worked at the gas station right in Wales, and it was walkable. But I mean, in the wintertime, I don't remember. I probably got a ride up there, because trying to walk, 3 feet of snow or something like that
Mm,
across, it would have been more difficult. But um, one of the guys I worked for, the owner's son, had this old shit box. It was a '77 Malibu, that he
mhm.
bought when it was, I think, 2 years old. The lady, one of the customers, blew the engine, and sold it to them for like fucking nothing because the engine was blown, right?
Right.
So I mean, they're goddamn mechanics. They rebuilt the engine, and he had a car.
Yeah.
So he drove it for however many years, and then figure 80, what was it, 85 probably when I got it, 84, 85, I don't
Uh-huh.
know, 85, and at the time, my dad had come back into my life, and he was offering. He's like, "Oh, I'll buy you a car, this and that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm kind of looking at something, whatever." And he's looking at all these different things. Let me look around, and he wanted to do that for me.
Mhm.
But I was looking at this other thing, and I paid $200 for it. I spent, and I'm not shitting you, at the time, I spent between speakers and the stereo system and the tape player and the equalizer. I think I spent $400 on the audio system in the car.
Sure.
And it was a fucking piece of shit. It
Right.
just was. But it was mine. It was my piece of shit.
Uh-huh.
And I paid $200 for it, and it was fucking wonderful. And the weird part is I think my dad was offended at the time.
Mm,
Looking back at it now, and then he ended up getting the Triumph, and I got that and all that different stuff, and obviously helped me down the road, or did stuff for me down the road. But I think he really wanted to do that. Um, but the point is that it was mine, and I was making money, and I had more money than
mhm.
I knew what to do with. I'm making $4 an hour, whatever the fuck it was.
Mhm.
But I mean, living at home, I don't have any goddamn bills.
Right.
But that goes back to that point that made me think about that, was that it was mine. I worked for it.
Mhm.
And it taught me right off the bat, probably, and I lost the whole concept of valuing items and working for them
Mm.
at certain points in my life up
Yep.
until I got sober. But at least at that time, it was I think it was a lesson that taught me to value something.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It just like, I mean, I put the money together to buy Derek's car, but I asked him, I'm like, I said I'd like to do that for you, but if he would have been like, no, I want to do it on my own or whatever, I wouldn't have
Mhm.
got pissed at him. But
Right.
I mean, I know he was grateful. So
Sure.
I don't know. It was just one of those things that just reminded me that was kind of the point of the whole thing, is that yeah, I worked for it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, then I sat back and had my fucking handout for people for
Sure.
fucking years after that. And you figure
Well,
by the
yeah.
time it's just
Well, yeah, right. Then, yeah, you get smart, you get a little older, and you go, "Well, shit, they're just gonna hand me shit. I'll take it."
right. Yeah, that's a good goddamn point. Because really, I mean, yeah, it's just you learn what you think at the time is the easier, softer way, right?
Mhm.
But I think then we figure out that it's not really the
It's
easier and
really
softer
not.
way.
No, it is not.
So then this is non-sobriety, but it has to do with our podcast. But I get this email from Spotify the other day, and of course, anyone who's listening, you could be listening on Apple, could be Spotify. Those are our top two. They're, I think, the
Mhm.
top two for most people. Apple usually runs number one for most podcasts, I think. But anyhow, So with Spotify, though, the ads that run when you guys are listening to this podcast and you hear those ads, again, it's literally fucking pennies. We get $9. What did I say? Usually every like 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I don't even fucking pay attention. So we get this email to our Sober Not Mature email. It's like Spotify payouts update. I'm like, ooh, what's this?
Sure.
And it says, we hope you're enjoying your experience with Spotify payouts. Absolutely. It's going wonderfully.
Sure.
Every time we get $9. In the coming months, we're adding a security check to payments processing. And I'm like, oh, here we go. To help you keep your account safe. Starting June 2nd, 2025, two-step verification. How do you feel about two-step verification?
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I understand it, and I'm grateful for it if anyone tries to fucking hack me, because I think it's probably saved me.
Right.
I think it's probably saved all of us, but yeah, I'm not a fan. But anyhow, so starting June 2nd, 2025, two-step verification will be required for earnings over $1,000. That is the only reason I wrote that down, because you found the humor in it as much as I did. We've been doing this for 3 years. Where's my calculator? Even if it were, because I can't think this what. Let's see if it was 9 times 12 times 3. Okay, and I don't think it's been much more than that. If it's been $9 a month for 3 years, which it hasn't been, $324 in 3 years.
Right.
So, in other words, I don't think we're going to have to worry about the two-step verification.
Right.
So
we don't have to worry about one step.
Yes.
We don't have to verify anything.
Right. Yeah. They probably sent the email like, I don't even know why we're sending these fuckers.
Right.
You get $9. Nobody's trying to steal this kind of money. We don't need to protect them. That's for goddamn sure. Oh shit! I almost forgot the story about Larry. Okay.
Yes.
So, for anyone, again, I talk about my stepdad every once in a while, and was in my life for 30 years, and wonderful human being. He and I butted heads, but he was a guy coming into our lives after our mom and me, our sister, and our mom had been on her own for whatever, 6-7 years, and had her own little unit,
Right.
And he came in and he was relatively controlling and a hard ass, not retired Marine, but had been in the Marines, and
right. He was a Marine. Yeah.
Very, very fucking buttoned up.
Yep.
And just things changed. Not in a horrible way. He wasn't abusive or anything like that. He just had his way.
Wasn't the great Santini?
Right.
You kids Google that.
Right. But, so he, again, wasn't doing anything wrong, but yeah, we butted heads every once in a while. So there was this ice cream, custard stand. They would fucking beat people up for calling it ice cream. It's custard. The name of the place, it's in Wales, Wisconsin. If you're ever there, I highly recommend it. It's really good. Nice old place. Still there, as far as I know. It's called Le Duke's. Okay. And
which is French for the Duke.
Le Duke. Yeah. So, okay. It's an ice cream stand that's French for Duke. That's awesome. But, great custard. They have little, sandwiches or whatever. I think they've expanded. I don't fucking know. But this place was busy or crazy busy all the time. They did. I mean, hell of a business.
Right. So
we would go down there, obviously as sometimes after dinner, as kids, a bunch of us kids will go down there. It was just a great place. So I don't remember if, actually, I think Larry and I might have went up there to get ice cream for us, like for me, him, and Mom and Kathy one night. I think I rode up with him. So I was in his car. He drove, obviously in his car. I remember how old I was. But I was in high school, young-ish, but I think we met him when I was like 15 years old, somewhere in that, 14, 15, maybe a little younger. But anyhow, so he had this two-door Cutlass, and you remember Cutlass. If anyone doesn't know what a two-door Cutlass is, whatever the door on your car is now, anyone's car out there, it's like twice as long. For a fucking two-door, it's like this. It's literally like half the fucking car, right?
Right.
So these parking, very small lot. Sometimes you'd have to park in the back and this and that. People park over the gas station, all over the fucking place. So very tight parking spots in this parking lot. So we're getting back in the car, and I opened the door, and again, back to Larry loving his car, right? I opened the door and I bumped the car next to me, not hard, but just lightly bumped it. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm young, I'm just like, I'm sorry. And I get in the car, and I shut the door, and the guy opened his car and bumped Larry's car back. And then Larry's getting in the car as this is happening, and he's like, "What just happened?" And I told him. He didn't say a word. Okay, he got out of his car, and the windows are up. I don't know if it's cold out or whatever. The windows are up. He gets out of the car. He walks around to the driver's side, knocks on the window. The guy rolls down his window. Then Larry just walks away. The guy rolls up his window, has fucking bewildered look on his face. Larry gets back in the car, and I'm like, what did you say? And he said, if you ever do that to they might have been married at the time. Said, if you ever, do something or act that way to my stepson again, he goes, I will kick your motherfucking ass. And just walked around and got back in his car. So, I mean, he fucking protected me,
All right.
He didn't say shit about his car, which is where that's what I thought. I knew I was actually more worried about his car than anything.
Sure.
But he didn't like the guy. The guy got aggressive at me.
Right.
And that was, not the only time. I mean, he and I had it was my own goddamn fault I took advantage of them for years, and he didn't trust me, obviously, at the end when I first got sober and all that. And he and I really, thankfully, I had that opportunity to gel with him again, in that last year of his life, when I was there, which, I mean, I can't even tell you how fucking grateful I am. It just, no words. But, just, I don't even know why that popped into my head. Again, he was so fucking protective of the car, but didn't say word one about his car. He just didn't like the way the guy got fucking aggressive at me.
Right.
So I was like,
Cool.
God damn, yeah, it was fucking amazing, So yeah, everything the hard ass thing that all the shit I talk about him, and I don't talk shit about him, but he's a hard ass. But I mean, he had a heart of gold too. So.
Right.
But yeah, so that was a softer side of Sober Not Mature for this. That's right. All right. So I had I think I have since I know you don't want to be here, I'm down. I got a couple
sitting
of
here looking at my bed, going,
But I have hang on one second. I don't remember what the fucking article is about, but I'm going to take a peek. I know I looked at it. Oh, okay. I came across this yesterday or today. I don't remember. It was before we went. So Mike and I met our cousin Johnny for dinner last night at a great place where Chris's daughter works, and although she wasn't there, it was a lovely meal. Okay,
it was.
So I don't remember when I found this. If it was today or before then, doesn't matter. So this is people who always clean up after themselves at restaurants usually display these unique behaviors. Says psychology. So and I think it might have been, I don't remember, but I remember looking at our table last night. It was clean-ish.
Yeah.
We took care of it. So number one, respect for others. The first behavior that struck me, this is the person writing the article, was that immense respect for individuals these individuals have for others' space. So agreed?
Yep.
All right. So number two, consciousness of actions. Another intriguing behavior is their consciousness of other actions. Remember a time when I was dining with a friend who always cleans up the restaurants. Halfway through the meal, spilled some sauce on the table. Without missing a beat, my friend reached for a napkin and quickly wiped it off. Right?
Right.
I mean, whether we're at a restaurant or at home, I mean, I would do the same thing. I mean, I'm not going to get out, say, hey, can you get me the spick and span? I want to clean the table. But
yeah.
Number three, self-discipline. One behavior that consistently stands out is self-discipline. Recall an instance when I was out for lunch. Sister, another one of those, clean up after ourselves. We finished our meal. She began stacking our empty plates and tidying up the table, even though we were running late for a movie. Okay. So I think I know I did that, and I think you did too, right? And did you ever do that? Is that a sobriety thing, or since then, or did you always do that?
No, hell no, I didn't do it. Serve me. Clean up my fucking messes, literally and figuratively.
Right.
Yeah, no. Actually it's I know part of it, yes, part of it's definitely sobriety. Part of it's also being Chris, because she worked in the service industry for
Right.
all, when and so she does it just because she, that's what she does. Again, yeah, that the first one, thinking of others and yeah, that's definitely a sobriety thing for me. Thinking of others. Yeah. Person's got to come clean the table up and I'm going to help them. I'm going to make it as easy for them as possible.
Yeah. And when I asked you that question about prior, I don't remember how I acted.
Right.
I just don't, I would think probably not right. I'm just going to go with that because that was my normal way to act. But then Derek's first job, he was a busser. And,
sure.
I think that I used to be clean-ish and stack plates, but I watched him after he started bussing like that, and he would not only stack the plates, but he put them right on the edge of the table, so the the server or the busser didn't have to reach for him.
Right.
So I specifically watched that, and then then I'm like, oh, I said I could tell where you work now, and he's like, you would believe the best people leave. And I'm like, no, I would, I get it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Exactly. You don't remember because it didn't fucking matter to you back then.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I don't remember, just meaning that's why I'm thinking that I was probably a fucking pig. I mean, why wouldn't I have been? All right, so number 4, detail-oriented. Person says, once I had a colleague who was meticulous about tidying up our lunch table. He would not only stack the plates, but also line the the cutlery neatly and wipe away any crumbs. I asked him why I paid so much attention to these minor details. I believe that how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yep.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And I mean, this has nothing to do with sobriety, but it has everything to do with sobriety so far, right? Which is, when I started reading it, I was just kind of like, I thought it'd be funny. I'm like, oh, I know I clean up at restaurants. This is going to tell me I'm fucking great, right? Then I started reading these things. I'm like, God, this is sober shit. So
yeah, it is.
Two more. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 more. High emotional intelligence. This is the okay. Pat me on the back now. All right. I remember a dinner with a friend who always insisted on leaving the table spotless. Asked him why. Told him to do so. I think about the server who has less to clean up after us. It's a small thing I could do, make their job a little bit easier. Okay.
Right.
Exactly what we were just talking about. His response reflected a high level of emotional intelligence. So, I mean, does it, or is it just courtesy? I mean, I'm not going to argue the point, but however you want to put it, I mean, I think we agree with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, phrase it however you want. It's again, trying to help the next person along their way.
Right.
Yep.
All right, 2 more. Demonstrated responsibility. Not too long ago, I was dining with a friend, habit of cleaning up. She accidentally knocked over her water glass, and before I could react, she had already flagged down a waiter, apologized profusely, and begun mopping up the spill with her napkin. Said something that day that stuck with her. If you're responsible enough to create a mess, you're responsible enough to clean it up. I fucking like that. I like that a lot. So I forget what trip it was, but it was in the last year. I stopped at it was a Love's, and there was a Subway attached to it.
Right.
And, you got to back out into the area where all the other coffee bar and stuff is to get your soda. So I did that, and they gave me the big fucking cup, and I'm like, I don't really need that. They're like, it's the same price, whatever. So I got this big monster jug of fucking soda. I'm like, whatever. I probably won't drink it all, which I did not, because it ended up on the floor. Okay. So I get back to the table, and it's it is just a table, not a booth. Kind of in one area, kind of an open area. And all I did, I sat down, I set the tray down, I took the soda off, I put my sub down, and I was about to unwrap the paper on the sub. And what I did was I pushed along the table, pushed my cup. There was something sticky on the table. And as I pushed my cup, the thing went all the way over and top went off, and monster big gulp fucking Subway cup all over the fucking floor. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker. So, same thing. Exactly what this. I got up, I'm wiping the shit up, I'm grabbing napkins. Like, you don't have to do anything. I'm like, I have to do all of this. I'm like, look what I said. I will even mop this up for you. I'm like, I feel so stupid. She's like, don't be silly. I'll do it. But then I'm sitting there, and people are walking around, and they put down the little yellow sign,
right?
Dumb shit spilled something. And I'm like, fuck me. And all I want to do is just walk out,
Right.
All right. So last one, number 7, unconcerned with others' opinions. You might think that they do not appear courteous and considerate. And while that could be, well, hang on one second. I missed the first part. This may sound counterintuitive, but those who clean up after themselves at restaurants are often less concerned with others' opinions. You might think that they do it to appear to be courteous and considerate. Considerate. But while that could be part of it, I found that often it goes deeper. Once asked a friend why she tidied up, her response was, I do it for me, not for what others might think of me.
Right.
The behavior is a reflection of their values and principles, not an attempt to impress others or seek approval. It's about staying true to oneself, irrespective of societal expectations or norms.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and literally, I mean, I was, because I look for these stories to be just fucking funny, But I start reading this goddamn thing. I'm like, every fucking one of these is sobriety based,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I'm like, this is going to be great. I was actually happy with that one. See, it wasn't just some stupid band article that pissed you off. All right, so on that note, we're good. I don't even need to say anything snappy. Mike, I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thanks for sticking through this when you didn't feel like it, because I don't know. God damn it, we need you. I almost got that out without laughing, but no. On a serious side, seriously, I know you weren't up for this, and I don't know. I appreciate it. Things always loosen up as we get going, but I know your head and your heart went in it right away, so appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, whatever, man. Again, I don't care what other people think. I'm doing it for me.
Right, I know.
Right.
I appreciate the fact that you're doing it for you.
It's that last one, right? I need to be true to myself and honor my commitments and whatever. Now I'm going to bed.
All right, man. You're up.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other, go out there and do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. Now, from the heart of my bottom, from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, whatever that is, from the beginning of time till the ends of the earth, always and eternally, fuck you. Now it's time, kids. Who crapola is it time? It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream. Keep fucking off forever.
And you are right. It is that time. It's fucking 10:15 p.m. Fucking real time. It's all right, though. But, everyone, Shirley will be with us, hopefully, as it lines up a couple of weeks from now. So if anyone came on into this episode hoping that it was Shirley on here and it stuck with us for the entire thing, fucking thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Just Lenny and Squiggy. Shirley wasn't here.
No, that's fucking funny. Look that shit up, youngsters. All right, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too.
And I'll see you in half a minute.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.